Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Crashy, and today we're going to be diving into a top 5 team comps list that I'm going to be compiling for you. Now, first and foremost, let me go ahead and add a disclaimer here. There's obviously, not been enough time, tournaments, maybe constructed play and footage for me to compile the literal best top 5 team comps, but I have kind of theory crafted some team comps. I actually have played in some kind of like constructed 5v5 Masters games and seen a little bit of like what competitive play looks like. So I do have like a couple of these that I'm pretty positive will be doing well, but it's more so from like a theory crafting perspective. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Let's go ahead and dive in. I think that it's fun to theory craft team comps and what works well, and it's going to be really cool to see your guys' response in the comment section, because you can kind of like tell me what you would shift around or why you think something might be good that I didn't list, because yeah, there's all kinds of team comps. So let's go ahead and jump into team number 1. This is a very well balanced team, and you can go ahead and see how I've laid it out here. We have jungle Cinderace, top lane is going to be Alolan Ninetales with Snorlax, Eldegoss support, and Lucario all-rounder bot lane. Now let's talk about why we have everybody in these roles. Jungle Cinderace is something that is kind of very, very strong in the higher tier of play, and the reason being is because Cinderace is a very very strong hyper carry. In my opinion, Cinderace is the actually strongest, best character in the game. I think it's kind of being overshadowed by like discussions about Gengar and Zeraora and stuff, but Cinderace is actually like the best character in the game, and I think second to Cinderace is Eldegoss actually. And it's pretty nuts what Cinderace is capable of doing from the jungle just by being fed a lot of EXP, getting that hyper carry as big as possible. As for the top lane, we have Alolan Ninetales with Snorlax. It's just a really tough lane to deal with. Alolan Ninetales brings so much to the team in terms of SP damage, supporty-likeness in nature, CC, a strong Unite move or ultimate, and Snorlax does the same. Very, very supporty, very, very tanky, the best tank in the front line. I don't think I replaced him in the tank role in this whole list, so you'll get to see what I'm thinking there. And then let's go ahead and look at the bot lane. For the bot lane, we have Lucario, who is the most versatile all-rounder, the best all-rounder to put into a lane, and we have a perfect lane partner in that of Eldegoss, because Eldegoss will be able to heal him up, because he is going to take a little bit more damage than maybe your ranged attacker, but he has so much mobility, so much burst. Lucario is definitely someone that you want in some of your team comps, especially if you want an all-rounder in the comp and you want it in the lane, because oh my goodness gracious, the other all-rounders in lane are not very good, and Lucario is amazing. So there you have that one. All right, let's go ahead and dive into team comp number 2. We have the same thing. I am going to swap it up, so don't be too crazy. Cinderace in the jungle, but we have Cramorant, Snorlax top lane with a bot lane of Eldegoss and Slowbro. This team comp is essentially like protect the backline comp. We have a very hard and kind of like slower, like harder to kill bot lane with that of Eldegoss Slowbro. They're basically just going to be there to get the experience. This is a kind of late game team comp, I guess you could say, because it's really like focusing on getting jungle Cinderace a lot of XP, focusing on keeping Cramorant alive with a very, very strong front line. I really think that the goal of this team comp is to play around that Cramorant ult, to really have that strong, annoying front line and let Cinderace just burn everybody down, while Eldegoss, Snorlax, and Slowbro are all doing what they can to support these two attackers. All right, team comp number 3. This is going to be a fun one for me because I really love all-rounders, and this is the team comp that leans into the all-rounders. So we have Jungle Machamp, and let's talk about Jungle Machamp. One of the better junglers in the game, in my opinion. He gets outshined because of Cinderace, but he's just so incredibly amazing. He gets his suppression very, very quickly. His gank potential is insane. He scales into late game amazingly. He has a lot of dive potential because he can use like cross strike, I think is what it's called, and he can use suppression to run at the enemy backline and really put in a lot of damage. Now, pair that with Lucario, you've got a lot of dive potential. There's some all-arounder dive comp looking things here. Snorlax and Eldegoss, obviously just insane Pokemon to use, and then you have that strong hyper carry of Cinderace, but it's coming out of the top lane, so not quite as fed with like jungle EXP, but still very, very relevant, very strong in lane. And this is just a very a bit more of a healthier team without running double tank, but still a lot of backline potential with this team comp. All right, let's go ahead and move into team number 4. This one I am This is like super experimental, and you know, we'll talk about it. Jungle Charizard is not as bad as people think it is. I'm a firm believer of that. I think even after they fixed the muscle band bug, which I guess is supposedly like, it's supposed to be like a nerf, because it was like activating too much, Jungle Charizard's still really good. His clear is insane. He's very, very bursty in terms of his clear, and he is, the thing I'm doing here is I'm building a much more literal dive comp too. So that's the whole point of this one. Cinderace and Snorlax top lane, same thing. You want that strong tank, you want that strong hyper carry. Eldegoss, the best support in the game, brings heals, brings a lot of longevity in fights, is able to keep people alive. And then we have Zeraora in the lane. Now, here's the thing. Between Zeraora and Charizard, which one would I rather have in a lane? Personally, I guess you could swap it up if it's your preference. But I kind of think Zeraora does better in a lane. You can get Volt Switch, you can be someone that can poke really well, you can dive in, you can get things done with Zeraora, I think, especially with like the help of Eldegoss in a bot lane. But Charizard, I don't know, his laning is just like not great. It's kind of like hard to pull off, and yeah, I don't know. I think that Zeraora might actually have a little bit better time there. The other thing about it is like putting Charizard in the jungle will get him to his level 9 faster, and everybody that knows anything about Charizard should know that level 9 is insane. So as far as team fighting goes with this comp, I really do see this as like a really ridiculous backline dive comp. Like I did the all-rounder dive comp kind of, but this one is, you know, Charizard uses his Unite move, flies over the top and targets like the enemy Cinderace or the enemy Cramorant, the enemy Ninetales, whoever he can burn down, and then Zeraora dives in, you know, maybe to the entire team and blows up as many people as he can, and does a ton of damage in the back line as well. So I kind of really see this as like a hard dive comp. I would love to see what this looks like in really constructed play. All right, let's, last but not least, move into team number 5, the last of this list. And like I said, I'm theory crafting these builds. I'm trying to come up with some fun stuff. There's definitely a bit of a set point that you can see with Snorlax, Eldegoss like taking up the list, and we're gonna see that here with team number 5. But this one's very different. We have Jungle Gengar, top lane Gardevoir, Snorlax, Eldegoss in bot lane with Slowbro. So we're doing that same kind of like protect the Cramorant thing, but I wanted to go for an AoE comp. This comp, I think that this comp would struggle early game a little bit. This might be a team comp that is literally playing to win like one Zapdos fight. I don't know. But the thought behind it is that you have this double frontline, this double tank frontline to protect Gardevoir, and she's so very squishy. She's so easy to kill, so you really do need something like that in a sense, or I think that this could definitely help her. You have the healing of Eldegoss. I mean, you know how this works. Snorlax and Eldegoss are insane, but we have Gengar. So what is Gengar here for? I mean, he is good. I don't actually think he's like super top tier. He's just really good in like a solo queue environment. He can put out a lot of damage, but the way I see this team fight happening is like Snorlax or Slowbro is gonna set up enough of like a front line and enough of like some initiation and CC that Gardevoir will be able to drop her ultimate, and then I just see the sludge, like the sludge hex spam with Gardevoir like abilities popping. Like even if you caught like 2 people in that, they would just die instantly, I think. And I think that would be really fun to see. This is a team comp that I was just thinking of, and I would love to see this executed on, even if it was just in like a pub game with friends. I would love to see this comp executed on, because I think that the end game fight potential of this team comp would be absolutely ridiculous. So there you guys have it, my top 5 team comps that are just kind of like theory crafted. Some have been played that I know of, and I just wanted to kind of move it around and shift it around. The craziest thing is that, like, objectively speaking, there are some things that just can't move. Snorlax, Eldegoss, absolutely insane. Cinderace jungle, again, very S tier, very kind of crazy. But as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. I want to know what kind of team, like, theory craft some team comps, you know what I mean? And if you like one of these, tell me what you think about it. If you would shift some things around, I think that'd be really cool. So thank you guys again for spending your time with me here on the channel. Drop a like and subscribe for future Pokemon Unite content. But again, as always, be sure to be kind to one another. Tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you on the next video.